Hey, this is Tracy with Color Me This. I am on episode 115 today. We are doing our daily color in the Small Victories coloring book, and we have a new style of page that I have not done yet, and it is a 4-image page that I have decided, since in my poll that I put out almost 2 weeks ago now, it appears as though Pablo is the winner. So I have pulled my Pablos out, and I am going to continue with my plan of the Kalour 180 black barrels for the top 2 images. And then these bottom 2 images will be done using the Pablos. I have picked a limited color palette. All 4 images will be colored with the same color palette. With the Kalour, I've got 2 blues, 2 purples, and 3 greens. And then I see on the upper 2 images some lines. We have an edge on this upper filigree element and some nice edging on the middle part with some little gemstones or something, necklaces, hanging beads, whatever we want to call them. Those are going to be done with some sort of a metallic. And then for the bottom, the left image does not have any obvious outlines for metallic, and on the right image there is this outline. So we will see. And then the other part to consider is that I could do backgrounds for each of the 4 images, which I might do backgrounds on my own and surprise you guys on the weekly color, which is going to be on Thursday of this week. So I'm just going to grab my 3 Kalour greens. They are a light, medium, and dark. I actually pulled 4 greens, but I think with the size of the images, we will not need them. So the lettering on these Kalour black barrels is lovely. We do have the outline silver, which is a little bit on the more difficult side, but the font is nice and large. So on the light, oh, and I did it backwards to what I normally do. Let's be consistent. Light on the bottom. We have 105, 148, and 22. This one is the only, oops, and I'm doing the wrong side. The only image that has a butterfly. The other 3 are floral elements. So I was going to skip these Kalours, but if I use them, then I will have used the 3 different Kalour sets, and maybe I can decide a favorite, perhaps. This, of course, is the 180 set, so it has the same number of pencils as the 180 full color that I did the bottom boat with. I will use the 2 bottom images as one of my completed coloring projects for the Pablos. I have not decided on this upper filigree what colors I will use. I am suspicious I will want to go with the blue to purple color combination over the greens. We are still having warm weather here, warm and dry. And tomorrow afternoon, we supposedly will be getting some rain, as well as near record high temperatures in the 90s, which is just crazy. Crazy, crazy. All right, we're ready to transition to the middle green. I am very grateful that where we have chosen to live is near the water, and so we have nice breezes here. Pretty blustery breezes. It has been nice and blustery all day, so that keeps us cool. I toyed with doing all of the green for both images, but that would require too much moving around of the book, so I will just stay on one image till I finish. I am sticking with some pretty basic blends, and on these thin ivies I am going light on the swirls, medium around the swirls, and then on the straight parts I will go dark. And I'm not holding hard and fast to that. Plan. Oops, I need the middle still. This is quite a dark transition. I got rid of one of the middle tones, so I will come back and blend that in. I figure I've got 4 days to do 2 pages. So if I don't get this completely done, I will finish it off tomorrow and we will move on to the next one, because the next image has quite a few images on it. Not as many as the 35 flowers, but it does have 15 images. And I will probably want to make them all different colors, like I did with the flowers. And I have not looked ahead to what will be coming. though I am toying with using the Pablos on the last two images on this page and maybe the first row or on the next page. So I'm just thinking out loud. The only thing I have used the Pablos for are nature and animal portraits. So I've mostly used the earth tones. So it would be nice to get a couple of early projects finished. I have to have my camera vertical today, which is going to be interesting for how I rotate. You might see me coloring sideways. I made sure to sharpen everything before starting because we've got some really thin lines here. I have to go back to the middle tone and get this blended out. Okay. I'm doing ovals, medium pressure now. These are pretty nice blending pencils, going with the lightest color. Now to just fill in some of these little gaps I am seeing. I'm not going to get too overly picky, however. Yeah, so this is the lightest tone. I hear a little bit of noise with these pencils, not bad though. These are, the colors are different than the 120 Black Barrel that I used yesterday. These have a really thick core, 3.8 millimeter versus the 3 millimeter. And so the pencil feels a little chunkier. And though I sharpened the tips, you can see I'm missing a couple of the thin lines, so I'll have to go back through on my own time and clean that up. I believe that is everything for the greens on that one. We've got 2 blues and 2 purples. So we plan on blending these across, blending them together on both the floral elements and the butterfly. So the blues are 130 and 20. Purple is 15 and 35. And the barrels don't match to the colors very well, which is pretty consistent. All right, so I am going to start. The tips of the butterfly are going to be the darker blue. might, with these little dots in the little teardrop shape, be adding the same metallic that will be part of the edging up here. And the edging on the flowers, it will probably be a neutral metal. I was thinking of trying to find a copper color. It will go lovely with the green. This is the dark blue, so this top part of the flower will be dark blue on both sides. And this is a funky segmented fantasy flower, not a real flower, right? The buds are going to be just the light blue. So now I'm coming in with the light blue, doing some little ovals. Okay, I think the center of the butterfly might be glaze in black or dark gray. And I am thinking of a night sky. Going in with heavy pressure now. I'm leaving little edges of white. We'll see what I'm going to do with those on these flowers. If I'm going to blend it all the way out or leave them. Okay, I want to get, oops, I need this. move on. And the last color is, we're going to bring in this darker blue. This is heavy pressure here, just one little row, and now I will lighten up so that it can blend in with that lighter blue. And I'm gonna pop in the light blue to smooth that out. And I'm going to call this one done, and I'm just going to move right along over to the next one. All right, so that's the first image done. Moving over, just keeping going with what I've got in my hand. I am going to peek here. All right, so the middle of this flower is going to be the darker blue to light blue, and these lovely teardrop flowers are going to have darker blue ends. I'm going to assume that that is a little piece of a flower. Lighter blue. Okay, light purple. Dark purple. right, gonna move on to the greens. Clean that up later. This time I'm starting with the dark. These little tiny leaves I will probably not even bother with the middle green. I'll go right to the light one. Gonna go for the light one since we have it here handy. I think that this image is smaller than the other one, so you're gonna see me zoom in a little bit more. Hopefully that makes it easier to see, not harder to see. Okay, the middle green, let's see how this works. I'm going to leave the little white areas that you see. Decide what to do with those later, if I want to fill them in or not. And I think for now, there's that image. There's that image. I am moving down to this one. We're grabbing the Pablos, grabbing the closest colors to me, which are the 2 blues and 2 purples. These are going to be a lot harder for me to read. They are tiny, shiny gold. There you go. So what I see is, I never wrote them down, 370 for the darker blue, 161 for the lighter blue. Oh boy, that's tough. I can read that. The light blue is purple, 131, dark purple, 130, which is actually called royal blue, so kind of strange. All right, I'm gonna start with the dark purple here. That is not the dark purple, is it? That is the light purple. These barrels are much more trustworthy. These pencils are like, for me, a little bit drier polychromos. And they're fairly quiet. They are very pigmented. They have light fast ratings. This one has a 2-star. I have to figure out what the Caran Dash rating is. The blues are 3-star. Both of them. I suspect, based on that, given that purples and pinks tend to not be as light fast, that the 2-star is less light fastness than the 3-star. But I will figure that out for tomorrow, and we'll let you know. I am not one of the artists that will throw away or not use a not as light fast pencil. These aren't colors that I use in animal portraits anyways, so I'm glad to be getting out my other colors and using them. Switching to the lighter purple. Leaving lots of room for the blues still. Like I said, this particular image does not lend itself to embellishing. It doesn't have any obvious lined areas that would be good for, say, gold or some sort of glitter. So I'll have to think on that. Okay, moving on to the blues, and I am going to be starting with the light blue here in the center, blending right into that light purple, which, as you can see, these blend beautifully. Instantly. Dark blue is the last one. Here are the stars. Those 3 stars to the right of the number. I am switching. I will clean up. Oops, and of course one fell on the ground, so we will not be getting back to that color today. Light, medium, and dark green. 2-star, and one is a 3-star for light fastness. Now, let's see if I can read these numbers. And I did it backwards, I'm sorry about that. I prefer this way. I actually did write the numbers down for the greens. It looks like light to dark 230, 239, and 229. Okay. Gonna start with the light. We've got lots of greenery here to fill in. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but this filigree style reminds me of horse show saddles, which over the years I had many different show saddles. Each discipline has its own specific type of saddle or any equipment, halters, bridles, etc. Some are just what everybody uses, and some items are required tack when you show. Okay, I think that's it for the light. I see a couple missing little knobs. I'm doing what I was doing up above. This isn't as swirly, but it's got these little knobs, so I have added light and then the middle green. You'll notice that these greens are not as olivey. The olive green color palette on the Pablos was too olivey for me. I did not really like it as well, so I went with more of a leaf green color scheme. I'm just randomly picking some swirls to have they be the middle color. So compared to the Kalours, I am hardly putting any pressure at all for these colors. They work very well on this paper. This is a very smooth paper. They actually work really well. I did since I hadn't used these in years and really hadn't used most of these colors, I did a mock-up on my copy paper. Sometimes I use a copy paper cheat sheet. I print it on my printer, and sometimes I don't. Today, given that I was using a set of pencils I have not used in years, I thought it would be good to do a draft and see how these worked. And it worked really well on copy paper. Probably one of the better pencils on copy paper. All right. I think I am ready for the dark. How are we doing for time? 41. We are going to finish this one and just have the fourth image, which is actually quite simple, to start with tomorrow. And then I will move right on over, have more Pablos picked out, since this is such a limited palette. I will have more we have bugs and butterflies and moths on the next page. 15 of them. So that should be fun. Lovely pencils. I think I just love pencils in general. All right, what are we doing? We got 2 minutes left. I'm going to grab the light green, try to smooth some of this out. I just love these colors together. Wow. It looks so nice. I'm adding more pressure now just to get things to smooth out. Fill in some of the tooth that with the light pressure I did not necessarily get filled in all the way. I hope you guys are seeing all this magical wonder. And whatever I miss here, I will of course go back and clean up on my own time. However, I think that this looks pretty good. I will have to go back with the blues and purples. All right, so 3 of 4 images done. I still think the Kalours did a great job. I do like the thicker cores. So there's that one, and then I just kind of blasted past. So let's see if you see a big difference between the Pablos on the bottom. I need to clean up the flowers. And the Kalours on the top. I think they both, again the greens, I did a little more on the olive side with the greens in the Kalour, but that is a 180 set. The Pablos that I have are a 120 set, which is the largest set that they have. All right, we're at 46 minutes, so that is going to be a wrap for episode 115 of the Daily Color. do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And we will meet back here tomorrow to finish up our last flower with the Pablos. And then I'm not even going to share with you the next page yet because it'll be kind of fun to look at it tomorrow with the new colors that I have picked. And I will be doing Pablos for a portion of it. And then the next set will go back to our alphabetical order after the Ks in the budget set. So I'll see you then.